Hello and welcome back to the MicroLearning Institute. In this short tutorial we look at a model that helps us to analyse the factors that determine national competitive advantage. This model was developed by Michael Porter and is called Porter's Diamond. He introduced this model that provides a framework for analysing why some nations are more competitive than other nations, and also why some industries within nations are more competitive than others. Porter's Diamond suggests that the national home base of an organisation plays an important role in shaping the extent to which it is likely to achieve advantage on a global scale. Visually, Porter's Diamond is presented like this, with a number of different considerations that interact to provide the basis for our analysis of national competitive advantage. One of those considerations Porter referred to as factor conditions. Other considerations were referred to as demand conditions. Related and supporting industries also played a role in determining national competitive advantage, as well as the strategy, structure and rivalry presented to the firm in its home nation. Let's have a look at these one at a time. Porter grouped factor conditions into two categories. The first category were basic factors, and again these can be grouped into things like human resources, the level of qualifications of people in a particular country, the cost of labour in a particular country, the commitment basis of labour in a particular country or region. Also, the availability of material resources. These could be natural resources like vegetation or open space that are naturally available in a country. And similarly, knowledge resources. Some regions possess better knowledge in some areas or in some sectors than others. And finally, the availability of capital resources to invest in a sector. So these items were referred to as basic factor conditions, the suggestion being that they occur relatively naturally in the country. Other factor conditions Porter referred to as advanced factor conditions, and these were generally conditions that arose because of government intervention or government policy or local policy. These included things like the quality of research that was undertaken in the local universities, the level of deregulation in the labour market, the liquidity and available of investment funds of the national stock markets. Porter's Diamond next looked at home demand conditions. Home demand conditions, it concluded, have impact on the pace and direction of innovation and product development in a particular country. According to Porter, home demand is determined by three major characteristics. 1. The mix of customers' needs and wants. 2. The scope and the rate of growth of an industry in a sector. And thirdly, the mechanisms that transmit domestic preferences to foreign markets. Next, we look at the role of related and supporting industries in determining national competitive advantage. The existence or non-existence of internationally competitive supplying industries to a sector and supporting industries. One internationally successful industry may lead to advantages in other related or supporting industries. Competitive supplying industries will reinforce innovation and internationalization in industries. Next, we look at the firm's strategy, structure and rivalry. And these are the conditions in a country that determine how companies are established, how companies are organized, how companies are managed, and the factors that determine the characteristics of domestic competition. In different nations, factors like management structures, the working morale or the interactions between companies are shaped differently. And again, this shaping will provide advantages and or disadvantages for particular industries. Organizations may use Porter's Diamond to identify the extent to which they can build on home-based advantages to create competitive advantages in relation to others on a global front. On a national level, governments consider the policies that they should follow to establish national sources of competitive advantage, which will subsequently enable industries in their country to develop a strong competitive position internationally. According to Porter, governments can foster such advantages by ensuring high expectations of product performance, safety or environmental standards, or by encouraging vertical cooperation between suppliers and buyers. Thank you very much for watching this short tutorial from the MicroLearning Institute on the sources of national competitive advantage as outlined by Porter's diamond.